I'm Maria Fontanazza with MedAd News, and I'm here at the 34th Annual Manny Awards with ConcentricLife leaders, Cheryl Maher, Managing Director, RitualLife, and Kristin McAteer, Managing Director of ConcentricLife. So we're here to talk about wellness, and it's such an interesting term, especially in the space that we're involved in right now. So if we could just jump off by starting about specifically the pharmaceutical industry, and Kristen, I'll start with you. How can the pharmaceutical industry learn from the wellness industry?
It's a good question. I think first and foremost, probably the power of an experience. And that's something that wellness industry does really well, that in pharma, we haven't fully gotten there yet. I would say we tend to build strategies based off of functional benefits still. And what we miss in that is the power and the emotion of building an experience that serves the whole person, not just a particular piece of their journey where they are in terms of their health. So that's one thing I think that we could definitely learn from the wellness side of things.
Cheryl, how do we incorporate wellness rituals alongside making our own healthcare decisions?
So, there's so many different angles for that. So there's how does a physician tap into wellness rituals when they're talking to their patient? And I think the key there is to really align with the patient's value system and a greater purpose. Everyone's more comfortable and more dedicated to a routine when it serves a greater goal that they believe in versus doing a habit that they do every day that they feel like is a chore. So I think physicians can really tap into that. I think from a patient perspective and a consumer perspective, really looking at habits and thinking about the greater purpose for that habit will actually help with compliance, whether it's compliance with taking a medication or it's compliance with doing your daily workout. So I think we've seen also like a lot of the fitness trackers are starting to help people create their own wellness rituals and their own fitness rituals to really tap into that stronger purpose-based routine.
Right, and so jumping off on that, what does the wellness routine of the future look like to you, and how is it embedded into healthcare?
So there's so much now, there's so much research that talks about how using trackers actually does help people reach their wellness goals, their fitness goals, their diet goals. So I think we're going to see much more of that. I think we're going to start to see the trackers align wellness and consumer proactive wellness with pharmaceutical treatments and diagnosis. So the diagnosis becomes a trigger for the tracker and for a holistic kind of approach to wellness. I think also accountability, digital accountability. There are some apps out there that are starting to institute like digital buddies. We always do better when we work out, when we do something with somebody. So looking at it that way. And then I also think we're going to see consumers and patients really start to own the holistic view of their health, because we're going to like a concierge in some areas, healthcare system. People are experimenting more with different products and services around wellness. So they actually, because it's so multifaceted, the ownership is on them to see the whole view. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that as well.
And Kristen, what does health at the center mean in the context of ConcentricLife when we're looking at everything from rare disease all the way to wellness rituals?
I think building off of what Cheryl just said, I think our ambition is to be able to work with clients and help them deliver an experience that helps support their patients regardless of where they are on their health spectrum. So if they're in a state of prevention and they're more in their wellness journey, all the way through to when they're dealing with a chronic disease or a rare disease where their health's really getting in the way. So our goal at ConcentricLife is to be able to sort of put the patient at the center and build the experience around it versus, kind of reverse engineering the experience to fit for a particular customer.
And so one of our themes tonight is taking things full circle. So if you can both talk about where you started in your career, and if there were maybe a couple pivotal moments there that led you to where you are today in your career. And so Cheryl, I'll start with you.
Sure, yeah. So I started in the advertising marketing industry and the consumer and business to business categories. And then about midpoint, I don't know, about 15 years into my career, I started in pharmaceutical. And I focused solely on pharmaceutical. It was different for me. It was very exciting. It's so scientific. And then I moved again into complete consumer packaged goods. So I was selling pharmaceuticals, and then I went to selling cheese sticks, which is also fun and amazing, and you have to connect. But now with ConcentricLife, I feel like I'm able to bring all of that together, full circle, and actually bring the consumer insights and motivations along with their holistic journey, and really be able to apply that. So it's interesting for me to see all the skills that I've learned, and now I'm able to actually bring them all together.
Right, that's very
position.
interesting. Yeah. Kristen, what about you?
So ironically, my career in advertising actually started at Concentric. So I was an intern at Concentric as my first ever job in this industry. And I remember I was sitting in a room and I was looking around, hearing the dialogue between my colleagues and between clients. And I remember thinking, this is a high pressure, fast paced, scientific driven, strategic industry. And I felt like it was all built upon client relationships. So for me, I remember thinking, okay, I'm exactly where I need to be. I had a science background in my college education, so it kind of totally fit what I was looking for, with part science, part business. And then I was really fortunate to have mentors who saw how driven I was, and they nurtured me and they challenged me when I needed to be. And I boomeranged, I left Concentric, and my full circle moment was 5 years coming back here and really settling in as my home here at ConcentricLife.
Well, those are both great career stories. So thank you both for sharing your insights with us tonight.